Fleet Commander or stared at the holographic display with his 4 eyes. His purple skin had turned pale. The numbers did not make sense. They could not make sense. Yet there they were, burning in red light before him. 70% casualties. 70% of the mighty invasion fleet destroyed in 3 Earth months. Run the calculations again, he ordered his science officer. I have run them 47 times, Commander, replied. His voice shook. The results do not change. We are losing this war. We are losing it badly. Or turned away from the display. Through the viewing window of his flagship he could see Earth floating in the darkness. Such a small planet, such weak creatures living on it. The humans had no natural weapons, no claws, no venom, no armored skin. Their bodies were soft and fragile. They died so easily when struck. And yet they were winning. How? Or whispered. We have conquered 43 species across the galaxy. We have weapons that can crack planets. Our warriors are bred for battle. How are these hairless apes defeating us? Pulled up another display. It showed a human soldier in combat. The creature was small, barely reaching the chest of a warrior. It wore simple armor and carried a primitive weapon that fired metal projectiles. We have analyzed their military technology, said. Their plasma weapons are weak. Their ships are slow. Their shields are laughable. By every measurement, they should have fallen within the first week of invasion. Then explain the 70%, or growled. Hesitated. His tentacles coiled nervously around his data tablet. Commander, I must warn you. What I am about to show you may disturb your mind. It disturbed mine. I have not slept properly since discovering this information. Or waved a clawed hand impatiently. Show me. The display changed. It showed a recording from a ground soldier's helmet camera. The soldier was moving through a human city. Buildings lay in ruins around him. Fire burned in the distance. The soldier felt confident. The battle was going well. Then the human appeared. It was a female or noted, young by their standards. She wore civilian clothing, not military armor. In her hands she held a small object. It was bright red and shaped like a cylinder. On its side were the words "fire extinguisher." The soldier laughed at her. His laugh was recorded clearly on the audio. He raised his plasma rifle, ready to vaporize this foolish creature who dared face him with a household item. The human pressed a lever on the cylinder. White powder exploded outward in a massive cloud. It covered the soldier completely. He stumbled backward, his 4 eyes burning. He tried to wipe the powder away, but it stuck to his skin. It got into his breathing holes. He began to choke. Then something terrible happened. The powder reacted with the natural oils on skin. These oils were necessary for their survival. They regulated temperature and protected against disease. When the powder touched these oils, a chemical reaction began. The soldier started to smoke. His screams lasted for 3 minutes before they stopped. Or watched in horror as his warrior dissolved from the outside in. The white powder ate through his skin, his muscles, his bones. When the recording ended, nothing remained but a puddle of purple liquid on the ground. What weapon was that? Or demanded. His voice was barely a whisper. It was not a weapon, Commander said. It is a safety device. Humans use it to put out fires. The powder inside is called sodium bicarbonate. Humans use it for cooking. They put it in their food. Their children play with it in schools for science experiments. Or felt sick. A cooking ingredient killed one of our elite warriors. That is only the beginning, Commander. Switched to another recording. This one showed a patrol moving through a forest. 20 warriors, fully armed and armored. They were hunting human resistance fighters. They found them. The humans were waiting in the trees. They did not have guns. They did not have explosives. They had glass bottles filled with a clear liquid. The liquid had small objects floating in it. What are those? Or asked. The humans call them pickles, Commander. The liquid is vinegar with salt and spices. Humans eat them with sandwiches. The bottles flew through the air. They shattered against the armor. The liquid splashed everywhere. At first, the warriors laughed. What harm could food do to them? Then the vinegar touched their exposed skin. Skin was highly sensitive to acids. Their home world had neutral waters and neutral soils. They had never evolved protection against acidic substances. The vinegar, harmless to humans, was like molten metal to them. 20 warriors fell in seconds. They tore at their own armor, trying to wipe away the burning liquid. But every movement only spread it further. The humans climbed down from the trees and finished them with simple metal tools. Gardening equipment explained. Humans used them to cut plants. Or sat down heavily. His legs could no longer support him. Show me more. The next recording came from a ship that had landed in a human agricultural area. The soldiers had rounded up the local humans and were preparing to execute them as a warning to others. One old human farmer stepped forward. He was ancient by their standards, with white hair and wrinkled skin. He could barely walk. He was no threat to anyone. He threw a handful of seeds at the nearest. The seeds were coated with something, a chemical humans used to protect their crops from insects. The active ingredient was a compound that attacked nervous systems. In insects, it caused paralysis and death. In humans, it caused mild irritation at worst. It caused immediate organ failure. 15 soldiers died from a handful of farming seeds. The old human had not even been trying very hard. He had just grabbed what was nearest to him. They are using everything, said. His voice was breaking now. Every substance on their planet seems designed to kill us. Their cleaning products dissolve our internal organs. Their medicines cause our hearts to explode. Their perfumes blind us permanently. Even their water is dangerous. It contains minerals that crystallize inside our bodies. What about their actual weapons? Or asked. Their guns and bombs. Those are the least of our problems, Commander. When humans use their real weapons, we can fight back. We can shoot at soldiers. We can bomb military bases. But how do we fight an enemy who kills us with kitchen supplies? How do we bomb a supermarket? How do we defend against a child throwing a bottle of soda? Pulled up a final image. It showed a human beverage called cola. The dark liquid bubbled gently in a glass container. It looked completely harmless. This drink, said, has killed more of our soldiers than all their nuclear weapons combined. The phosphoric acid inside it melts through our skin in seconds. The carbonation causes our blood to boil. The caffeine stops our hearts. Humans drink gallons of this liquid every day. They give it to their children. They consider it unhealthy because it contains too much sugar. Or stared at the image. His mind struggled to process what he was hearing. They are not even aware, he said slowly. They do not understand what they are doing to us. That is correct, Commander. We intercepted human communications. They are confused by our weakness. They thought we would be harder to defeat. They are making jokes about how easy this war is. One popular human entertainment show did a segment where they tested which household products worked best against us. The winner was a spray used to clean glass windows. Or closed all 4 of his eyes. For a long moment, he was silent. Then he opened them again and looked at his science officer. What do you recommend? Pulled up a star chart. It showed their home world, 30,000 light years away. It showed the path they had taken to reach Earth. It showed all the planets they had conquered along the way. I recommend retreat, Commander. Immediate and complete. We must leave this system and never return. The Council will have us executed for cowardice. Then we will be executed. But at least we will die on our own terms, not choking on baking powder or dissolving in salad dressing. Or laughed. It was not a happy sound. It was the laugh of someone who had just discovered that the universe had a terrible sense of humor. Do you know what the worst part is? He asked. Humans do not even consider themselves dangerous. They think they are weak. They write stories about being invaded by aliens because they fear they could not defend themselves. They look at the stars and worry about what monsters might be waiting for them. He stood up and walked to the viewing window. Earth glowed blue and green below him, so peaceful, so beautiful, so absolutely deadly. They are the monsters, Or said. They just do not know it yet. He turned back to, send the retreat order, all ships, we leave within the hour. What should I tell the council? Or thought for a moment, then a strange expression crossed his face, something that might have been dark humor. Tell them the truth. Tell them we were defeated by the weapons humanity possesses. Tell them that humans fight their own fires with substances that melt our soldiers into puddles. Tell them that human food is chemical warfare. Tell them that the most dangerous species in the galaxy does not even realize it is dangerous. They will not believe us. Then let them send another fleet. Let them discover for themselves what happens when meets a human grandmother armed with a spray bottle of vinegar and determination. The retreat order went out. Within an hour, every surviving ship was burning toward the edge of the solar system. They did not look back. They did not slow down. They fled like prey animals escaping a predator. On Earth below, humans watched the alien ships run away. They celebrated in the streets. They hugged their families. They laughed and cried with relief. None of them truly understood what had happened. They thought they had won through courage and determination. They did not realize that their entire civilization was built on substances that could kill most alien life. They did not realize that their household cleaning supplies were weapons of mass destruction. They did not realize that their bodies, their food, their medicine, their very existence was toxic to the rest of the galaxy. They were the monsters, and they had no idea. Somewhere in space, Fleet Commander Or wrote his final report. He described everything his forces had experienced. He listed every human substance that had killed his warriors. He attached recordings, chemical analyses, and death counts. At the end of the report, he added a simple recommendation. Never return to Earth. Never contact humans. Never let them know how dangerous they are. Because if humans ever discover that their kitchen cabinets contain enough chemical weapons to conquer the galaxy, they might decide to use them on purpose. He sent the report. Then he went to his quarters and tried to forget that a species of soft, fragile, helpless creatures had destroyed his entire invasion force with household cleaning products, cooking ingredients, and glass cleaner. He never did manage to forget. Neither did anyone else who survived. The war for Earth lasted 3 months. The recovery of the Empire would take 300 years, and humans never learned the truth about why the aliens retreated so suddenly. They just assumed they were lucky. They had no idea they were the most terrifying thing in the universe.